hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, and I am coming to you live and a little early from a very, very rainy Magic Kingdom area. The weather looks a little daunting, but for theme park commandos like your girl, this is nothing. This is nothing. We have hacks planned accordingly, and it's just a challenge. That's all it is. All it is, just a challenge. But another reason that I am starting so early is because one, I am on the Magic Kingdom ferry, and you guys will get the ferry perspective of going over to the parks. I mean, the monorail is cool, but there's something about being on the ferry and something about being on the ferry up front for that approach to the Magic Kingdom. There's just something very, very, very different this morning. So I'll tell you what, I'll show you guys. So there is the Grand Floridian. There's a DVC tower that they put up where they took out the beach from the Polynesian. Those are the expensive shacks on the water over there. And as you can see, we are really full in this place. We are extremely full. There's two levels, of course, to the ferry. There's the bottom level and there's the top level. If I can get on the boat, like one of the first to get on, I like to do that. I have to get up front. Hey, let's see who we've got here in the chat. Let's see. We've got Steel Leg of History, says Reina Creole. Hello. How are you doing today? Be blessed. Well, thank you, my friend. I am blessed and highly favored, as are you. I'm glad to see you in the chat this morning. Hey, HC says, let's go. Going back for my birthday in a few weeks. Well, that is awesome. That is awesome. Hope you're planning an exciting and fun trip. Hey, Chef Nation says, good morning, beautiful people. Well, good morning to you and also to Little Chef. Good seeing you guys. Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. Yeah. Hey, Alan says greetings, programs. Well, good morning. Good to see you, Alan. And yes, HC, yes, it does. I don't go on there if I can help it. Boat more works. Here we go. There's the other ferry that's heading back. In all my years of visiting the Magic Kingdom, once in a blue moon, the ferry may not be working, but the monorail, more often than not, sometimes it'll break down. Not that fun, but take the ferry. I mean, check this out. How cool. You guys are in the front row. Yeah, that was fun. Front row. That was it. There's, I believe, Discovery Island. I know it is just that island in the middle. It kind of blocks, it kind of like breaks up the sight line a little bit to hide the Polynesian. Alright, we'll pull it out when we get off. And coming up here on, like, say, the middle, a little bit to the left of the middle, you'll see Cinderella Castle. You'll also see the Main Street USA train station. And over to the right, you'll see Space Mountain, and rising above the trees, that is the dome for the Tron Light Cycle run. Good morning, Talia 504. Hello, good morning. Well, hello, good morning to you, and welcome. Welcome. Over there to the right is the Contemporary Resort with Bay Lake Tower. And the boat that you see, oh, I think that was the Festival of Friendship thing. No, wait. Not opening ceremony. Festival of Friendship. But anyway, there is the Polynesian. There's a boat that goes from the Wilderness Lodge that comes over. Those are smaller boats. Little tiny boat over there. That one's headed towards the Polynesian. When you stay at the Magic Kingdom resort areas, especially at the Polynesian, I love taking the boat. The boat is awesome. Stand at the bow, stretch your arms out, and say, "I'm the Creole Queen of the world." That's what I did on the Liberty Bell. I love being up front on the ferry. It is just so cool. Hey, Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington, all the way across the pond. Hope you're doing good this morning. Says, hello, the Reina Creole and Creoleites. Good to see you.
Yeah, we're just standing still in the breeze.
It's rainy, so when it's raining, please be careful getting off the boat. They show all prices and availability of all parks. Oh, okay, probably because of the weather.
Oh, thank you.
Because before for APs, it was blocked. There wasn't any available, but that's why you always keep checking availability. Even the day of, the evening of, especially after midnight. Keep checking and checking and checking and checking.
Mom, we don't want to get off.
And we are about to dock. 15 of you guys in here right now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Very rainy President's Day weekend. We're going to head on over to Liberty Square as soon as we get to the turnstile. So just sit back, relax, and hang out with me as I do this stroll and chill. So for the stroll and chill folks, you know what we do. Walk around the park, check things out, read your comments, answer your questions. We're just enjoying it today. It is about 60 degrees, so it's a little cold. Well, it's freezing for Floridians, but if you're from the Northeast, it's like, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Thank you, Steel Leg of History. I see that super chat. I'll highlight it as soon as I get through the ticket turnstiles. Thank you.
Careful on this, Mindy. Hold the rail. All right, I'll just stay with you.
CJ says shorts weather. Yeah, if you're from the if you're not from Florida, if you're from the Northeast or like Michigan or Canada, it is shorts weather. Hello, Kev L. So good to see you. It says hello, all. Hello, hello, and good morning. Let's see. Let's see if I can get to that. So thank you, Steel Leg of History, for that $2 super chat. I appreciate that so very much. Just be blessed. So proud of you. My mom's birthday is on Friday. Oh, okay. Well, happy early birthday to your mom. Mom's Steel Leg of History. Thank you so much, my friend. You be blessed too. All right. There's the boat from the Wilderness Lodge. Up here. Tell you, I love, as much of an epic journey as it is to get to the Magic Kingdom, I just love being here. Even when it's rainy. So when it's rainy, folks, make sure you have your ponchos, your umbrellas. If you're staying at the hotels, grab a couple of little hand towels and bring those with you to the park. Now, one of the nice perks of being a pass holder is the pass holder entrance. Maybe not, and we'll just go ahead and engage. Oh, sure. There you go. Mm-hmm. Let's see. There we go.
You good? Hello, how y'all doing? Are you getting your passport?
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Through there. There is the Magic Kingdom Railroad. A nice, relaxing train ride around the park. I had such a fun time yesterday riding it on around. Oh, wow. I didn't know people had an issue stopping there. Then again, your girl is a theme park commando. I am not trying to stop unless necessary. Some people kind of like, oh, wow, this is great. Kind of stopping and walking around with me and my family. I'm like, no, 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 we're burning daylight. We got to be somewhere. Come on. Put your head on a swivel and just look around while we get to where we're supposed to go. Speaking of that, I wonder if the wait time for the Haunted Mansion is pretty low. If it is, we might hop on there. It is in Liberty Square, by the way. Now, here I am talking about no stopping. Okay, here is where I would always stop. Right here, you have to stop and look on Main Street, USA. It's like, ah. And there's my castle all the way down there. 20 of you folks in here in the chat. I'm going to catch up with the chat in a little bit. Just wanted to stop and look at the statue here. Because I keep missing it and I keep forgetting about it. And here it is down here. Walt Disney World, a tribute to the philosophy and life of Walter Elias Disney, and to the talent and dedication and the loyalty of the entire Disney organization that make Walt Disney's dream come true. May Walt Disney World bring joy and inspiration and new knowledge to all who come to this happy place, a magic kingdom where the young at heart of all ages can laugh, play, and learn together. Dedicated this 25th day of October 1971. Signed by Roy Disney. I tell you, Roy Disney, that was his thing to get his brother's vision brought to life. And I always think of how sad it is that Walt Disney died before he could see this. It was truly, truly a feat. Let's see. Let's read this, you guys. I'm telling you, all this stuff I never saw before. Cosmic Commando, stop. Everybody, look at the castle. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's see. This plaque here says Sharing the Magic, dedicated to Roy O. Disney, co founder of the Walt Disney Company. In 1923, Walt Disney and his brother Roy O. Disney pooled their resources, Walt's creative vision and Roy's business sense, to form their own cartoon studio. Together, they successfully pioneered many new avenues in family entertainment. Roy Disney completed his brother's last and greatest dream, the creation of the Walt Disney World Resort, and dedicated the Magic Kingdom on this site on October 25th, 1971. And that's a statue of Roy Disney with Minnie Mouse. I tell you, the stuff you miss when you're a commando. So good seeing you guys. I see y'all in here. All 25 of you guys in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is a very rainy. Well, I won't say very rainy. It's not super rainy. It's just light. If it was warmer, it wouldn't really be bothersome, but it's a little nippy. Probably because I'm not wearing any socks with my Crocs. Sorry, I can't do socks with Crocs. Although I will say, as ugly as Crocs are, let me tell you, I've been wearing Crocs to the parks for years. They're light, they warm to your body temperature. So when you splash in a puddle and you get that cold water, don't worry about it. You'll be warm and dry eventually, very quickly. Walking around the parks all day, and my feet still feel good. So if you ain't crocking, you ain't rocking. That's what I say. LRC, get out of my way. Got LRC stuff to do. I'll tell you, ask my sister. They knew the deal. All the planning that I would do up front. I mean, this is before the non-spot, all the changes that they really made to the parks. I had a plan. The family knew their job was to rock with the plan. That was it. Like, we got to go. We got stuff to do. You want to do all this cool stuff? We got to keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. But for real, guys, when I am out at the parks blogging, I try to stay in the background as much as possible. Not only is it more courteous to do so, but when you're kind of an observer, you guys can see how people are at the parks, what they enjoy at the parks. Even pick up little snippets of conversation, excitement, stuff like that. Hey, Rambam 3000. Hey, that was 4 days after my birthday. 4 days older than the Walt Disney World Resort. All right, all right, all right. And we've got Spaceman who says morning. Reina, Well, good morning to you, spaceman. Hope you're doing well. And yes, hit the thumbs up like it owes you money. Hitting the thumbs up lets YouTube know, hey, the girl is here in the parks. Just me, my iPhone, and all of you amazing, amazing people. I love hearing the music from Hello Dolly. It's so sweet. I love it. And there's Walt statue. Let's go walk up the Walt statue before we go over to Liberty Square. So there's Walt with Mickey. So it's very nice how Roy and Minnie are right at the entrance to Main Street, USA. And then when you get down here to the castle, you have Roy Disney.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Mickey Mouse. Perfectly placed. Also, this is the perfect place to watch the fireworks. You go past this point, you're in the mosh pit. Not exactly comfortable, but yeah, amazing picture to get of the statue of Walt in front of the castle. Let's see. Holika 504, are you still having your stream with Chris Gore today? I don't have a live stream with Chris Gore. However, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, I will be premiering a interview that I did with Chris Gore, where he's talking about why he says that basically making Star Wars a girl brand pretty much was a nail in the coffin for the franchise. So, I had to talk with him about that. Chris Gore is a friend to the channel. So 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, that video will premiere. So please to check that out. Please check that out. Socks with Crocs or sandals are fashion. No. Yes, it is. Can't wear no socks with Crocs. It just doesn't work. Okay. I see so many people in here. I can hear Sergeant Reina Creole now. Left, right. Pick up those feet, you miserable stragglers. Oh, yeah. My family knows I'm crazy. But they also know that as crazy as I am when planning Disney trips, they know that when they go, they are going to have the best freaking time ever. Like, we would be in Ohana restaurant, and people were like, how did you get a table in front of the window in time for the fireworks? I'm like, don't you wish you knew? Hey, follow the Bradley's fun. I see you there. Says, good morning, Lorena. Looks like a nasty, gloomy day out there. Yeah, it is. So I don't plan to be in the Magic Kingdom for very long, but I wanted to bring you guys with me, check the place out for a bit. I'm hoping that it will drop how many people are in line for the Haunted Mansion. Hey, Goof435, good to see you. Good to see you. CJ says, I sent two big burly men to thumbs up the house. That's what I usually do when someone owes me money. Good to see you, CJ, my amazing thumbnail guy. And Taylor, good morning, Lorena. Well, good morning to you, Taylor. Glad to see that you're here. Let's see. I think I got everybody. You gave me an idea for coming vlogs. Oh, well, great. Folks, make sure you're subscribed to follow the Bradley's Fun. He does some really, really great vlogs. If you love my channel, you'll love his content too. So definitely check it out. All right, so here we are, Liberty Square. How you get to Liberty Square? Go down towards the castle, make a left turn at the Walt Partner statue, come across the bridge. This is also the bridge where the parade comes through to the Castle Hub, Liberty Square. Beyond this gateway lies a humble village built on hope and courage. The hope to be heard and the courage to listen and welcome new ideas. The hope for freedom for all and the courage to fight for it at any cost. May all who step foot here be awakened by this same hope and courageous spirit. Welcome to Liberty Square. I love that dedication. Love that dedication. Chris Gore, you mean Frank Gore. That's how Drunk called him. He has his drunk has his own special way when it comes to that. And thank you so much, Chef Nation, for gifting 10 Lorena Creole memberships. Oh my gosh, thank you for being so generous, my dear. Make sure you're opted in for memberships because when I have generous folks like Chef Nation gifting memberships, you have a chance to get one. All kinds of special perks for my members. And if you're a member now, guess what? You can go back and see the live stream I did yesterday just for members in much more favorable weather over here at the Magic Kingdom. So thank you so much, Chef Nation, my dear. Oh my gosh. Go subscribe to her channel. Like right now. Go subscribe to it. The tree of liberty on occasion must be watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is natural manure. Thomas Jefferson. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Show us Broccoli Mountain. Yeah, we'll see Broccoli Mountain. We'll see Broccoli Mountain a little bit. Thank you so much, my dear. And Dylan C says, hey, Lorena. Well, hey, Dylan, good to see you. Good to see you. GTA Liberty City. Not right now. Some parts of America are kind of like that. And I'm glad you enjoyed that live stream, HC. Yeah, I had the day off, so it's kind of nice to just take you guys out here. And we're gonna have some time off. We can walk around. Yeah. Liberty Square. Liberty Square. I didn't really used to do much here back in the day. For me, the main purpose of Liberty Square was the Haunted Mansion and Sleepy Hollow for all the disrespectful treats. And we're actually coming up on Sleepy Hollow refreshments here to the right of the camera. They've got chicken and waffles. They've got funnel cake. They've got this Haunted Mansion themed drink, non-alcoholic. It looks so good. Haunted Mansion themed. It's perfect. My favorite, however, are the funnel cakes. So late in the evening, usually about an hour before the park closed, me and my family, we get a funnel cake and we go sit over here and look at the castle at night when it's lit up. That's like one of my favorite disrespectful eat spots right here. It's delicious and a great place. Great place to just relax and hang out. Chef Nation said, thanks. I've started gaming again on my channel. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I got to get back in it. Well, I'm stuck on console gaming for a while until I get my gaming rig. I could go for some chicken and waffles, a great anytime meal. You got that right. You can't go wrong with chicken and waffles. It's never quite an LRC live stream without disrespectful treats. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it goes back when I would visit Disney World with my family. It's like not money for a whole lot of souvenirs, but there was money for treats. So I made sure to spend that wisely. Like I want the most memorable thing I could never eat at home. So yeah, Sleepy Hollow Refreshments is open for breakfast. So if you want to grab some breakfast, you can grab it from there. And if you look up there where it says Sleepy Hollow Refreshments up at the top, you can see the Headless Horseman. How cool is that? Yeah, one of my favorite places to eat. Over there is a Ye Old Christmas shop, and yes, we will be looking through there. Love the Ye Old Christmas shop. There's the umbrellas that you can get, painted and everything. I remember when I was a kid, I got one, and then my mom acquired it, confiscated it because it was hot. She wanted an umbrella and didn't have one. Although I will say it's not an umbrella here in the South, it's a parasol. Because your parasol looks nice and fancy to not only keep the heat off of you, but also to look fashionable and stylish. So you had your parasol and you had your fan. So my mom took over my parasol. Yeah, my wallet's like, you want that gaming PC, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Very cool, nice detail. Yes. Again, back when Imagineering was about that life, not so much now. Thank you so much, Scott Westbrook, for that $5 super sticker. Can somebody tell me what the super sticker is? Because I can't see it in StreamYards. Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate that. Appreciate that so much. So much. So here is okay, so let me back up a little bit before we go inside. Because this is one of those things that you'll walk by. And if you're a fan of American history, this is something you need to know. So here in Liberty Square, there's a replica of the Liberty Bell. And the flags that you see up there are the flags from the 13 original rebellious colonies. I have to say that because East Florida and West Florida were the 14th and the 15th colonies, but they remained loyal to the crown. They did not rebel. They did not send delegates to the Continental Congress. So here you have all of the flags of those 13 colonies that rebelled, and the first flag was just the 13 stars for the 13 original colonies. So I always recognize it because I see the flag of Pennsylvania, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And over here is a replica of the Liberty Bell. So let's see. And actually, it was used in protest and tolled slowly when the Sugar Act of 1764 and the Stamp Act of 1765 were passed into law. Continued to toll for the First Continental Congress in 1774, but obviously rung on July 8, 1776, when I summoned the citizenry for the reading of the Declaration of Independence. Okay, here's the rain parade. It was during this era of unrest that I became known as the Bell of Independence and the Bell of Revolution. Oh, keep it up. Okay, thank you so much, my dear. Okay, I tell you what, let's just wait. Let's just wait. They do this rainy day cavalcade when it rains. This is when they do it.
Hey, Brian, we're just going to ask you to be on the brick right over here.
Oh, sure. Shout out to all the cast members that gotta work in this rain. But yeah, huh. Okay, so I'll get back to the chat in a minute, but there's the rainy day cavalcade. We've got the other Mr. Fantastic, also known as the Incredibles. Everybody wave! There they go. Got Woody. This is perfect. They're like, yeah, we'll make you feel good about being out here in the rain. There's Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. Oh, look! For the aristocrat. And there's my boy Stitch. And there's Max. And there's the Genie. Hello! And Max. Very rare you see Max. And you know Stitch is my boy. Look at all that. We got Miguel up front. We got Jasmine and Aladdin and Mulan and Moana. Raya. Oh my gosh. And Mary Poppins and Bert up in the top. So how cool. I remember one year there was this hurricane that turned into a tropical storm, and I was at Disney World, and that storm stayed here for like 5 days. Eventually, this parade got tiresome. But anyway, back to this before we go into the Hall of Presidents. For every flag of the 13 colonies, it has a state and when the Declaration of Independence was ratified. So it's really cool to go by all the flags, but here's the writing. So this is a court of flags. 13 proud and colorful flags fly high today to honor the original states which became united under our country's first constitution. A replica of the first national flag was used in 1787, symbolizing the joining of the states for our first union. In other words, the 13 treasonous colonies to the British crown. And here's a replica of the Liberty Bell. Yes, I have seen the original. Damn dirty Florida record. True story from what I've read in accounts. When East Florida heard that the other 13 colonies had rebelled, right there where the Castillo de San Marcos, renamed Fort St. Mark at the time, when they found out about it, they were burning effigies of like John Adams, all of those dudes. They were not freaking happy at all. So here's the Liberty Bell, and again, replica of the Liberty Bell. But every flag here has like the date that the Declaration of Independence was ratified. Now I'm trying to find, where's Massachusetts? There's a reason I'm going to say Massachusetts. Where the heck is Massachusetts flag? Here we go. Okay. Massachusetts, February 6th, 1788, the Declaration of Independence was ratified. The reason why this is so important is because from my family's history, I have three distant cousins who signed the Declaration of Independence. One was John Adams, one was Sam Adams, another one I think was Thomas Treat Paine, and another one that I can't remember. It's so sad, but I can't remember that. But yes, they were all from Massachusetts, that delegation from Massachusetts, and their signatures are on the Declaration of Independence. And they pretty much knew as soon as they put their names on the Declaration of Independence uh, that they basically got put on King George's hit list. King George III's hit list, if you want to be specific, because they had basically committed treason by doing that. Rembrandt 37 says, love the red stickers and yellow hats. Yeah, it's a little fun parade. I love the all the cute raincoats and stuff that they have. It's so much fun. So it's one of those things where I'm glad they do it. Yeah, Delaware sighting. Yeah, we don't talk about Delaware. Delaware's claim to fame is that they were, I think they were, no, they weren't the first state. I think that's New Hampshire. Bruno is us Disney fans. Yeah, they don't want to talk about us. Rembrandt 3000 says, I was shocked to learn that there were loyal colonies. Yes. Interesting thing, Rembrandt 3000 is, well, my parents were born in the South. I was educated in the North, outside of Philadelphia. So I know the story back and forth about the Declaration of Independence. I've been to Independence Hall, all of that. I had no idea that Florida was British, was a British colony. Well, they lost in the 7 Years' War to Spain. So Spain says, we want Cuba back. You can have Florida. That's how that happened. But I did not know any of this until I researched my own family's history. And interestingly enough, um, what the heck was that dude? Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton. Do you know he wanted to invade Spanish Florida? Yeah, he did. So, yes, British East Florida and West Florida were loyal to the colonies loyal to the crown. When the American Revolution popped off, a lot of loyalists in the South, well, in all the colonies actually, a lot of them either fled back to England or they fled into British and East Florida. British East Florida and British West Florida. Until Spain got Florida back, and then, they had to figure that stuff out, if they wanted to stay or if they had to leave. Meg B says, this is amazing. That is amazing. These are things that make history alive. Yeah, I have to credit my history teacher in high school. He was like, you can memorize dates and stuff like that. Dates mean nothing. You need to understand the history and everything behind those dates. And that's what fascinated me. Like finding out about the founding fathers and finding out that, the reason why Alexander Hamilton was such an a-hole is he was very sensitive about his parentage. And people used to needle him with that all the time. Yeah. Trust Lorena to be related to some of the founding fathers. Yes, at Rambam 3000, actually I am. Thanks to a lot of my ancestors from New England. There's a reason why so many of the U.S. presidents are related. That's because the brain trust, the money, the education, all of that was concentrated in New England. Well, it's not like you learn any interesting history in school. And if you do, they want to kick you out. But yeah, that's why. That is why so many of the U.S. presidents are related because of that small group of people from New England, which is why I think I'm related to, oh shoot, I think last count was about 20 U.S. presidents, including Clinton, including
South Carolina.
the Bushes, Barack Obama. Oh yeah, it was crazy. I'm just like, this cannot be true. And they're like, yeah, actually it is. Although I cannot say that I'm related to Jefferson. Though. Ah, 30 minutes. Okay, that gives us enough time. That gives us enough time to check out all the amazing stuff. So actually, I am going to, first of all, I need to tie up my umbrella first. Real quick. Tell you what, I am going to let you guys sit right here for a brief minute. Give me a minute, and I'll be back. Okay, I timed this perfectly. Perfectly. 33 of you folks in here watching. Thank you so very much. Just to show you guys, yes, it is me. Is it really? Is it really the Reina Creole? Is it really the Reina Creole? Okay, there I am. Woo. Woo, I thought they disappeared me for a while. So yes, we're here at the Magic Kingdom. Over here in the Hall of Presidents, which is one of my favorite places to catch a nap. Or at least it used to be. I never really paid too much attention to the Hall of Presidents again until I researched my family history and found all of these ties to all of these U.S. presidents.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Hall of Presidents. Our next 20-minute show will be starting at 11:15. Once again, our next 20-minute show will be starting at 11:15.
Which gives us plenty of time to look at all the stuff that's around here. So anyway, as I was saying, I found out all of these U.S. presidents that I'm related to, lines that go back to the Mayflower descent, Mayflower passengers, the Puritans that came over, Quakers that came over. Again, that whole thing. Interesting. But yes, I found it out. I thought that it was a joke. No, it was not a joke. 100% true. So knowing that, now I really got interested in who the founding fathers were, their backgrounds, and all of that. So here in the Hall of Presidents, yes, it's a great place to take a nap, but it's also a very, very great place to understand how this nation came to being and all the cool swag and like portraits that are in this place. It's so freaking awesome. It's so awesome. Gotta keep the fun laugh. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting. Warning, folks, don't walk on the brown portion of the ground. Oh yeah, I gotta show you guys a river of poop later on. Yes, that is a thing. Yes, that is a thing. Have a good one, Chef Nation. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. I would hate to be related to Justin Trudeau. Dude, I can't stand the fact that I'm related to Justin Bieber. I'll claim Beyonce, but I'm not claiming Justin Bieber. No. It's definitely worth checking out. I have to tell you. Researching my family history has given me a great appreciation. One, learning more about this country, and two, learning about just how hard it was for folks during various time periods. I have studied more about the Reconstruction era of this country than like anything. Mostly from records from my family finding that out. At least it's dry there. Yeah, that's why we're in here. And we might escape over to the Haunted Mansion if it's not too busy. River of Poop, yes. So there is concrete out there from Liberty Square that looks like this weird shape. It's the River of Poop, according to the Imagineers, because in the 18th century there were no toilets. You had chamber pots. Guess what? Throwing it out there. Yeah, that's why. CliffX, thank you. Says yes, colonial days had no plumbing. Towns had a river of poop going through them. Yes. That is 100% true. All right, folks, we're going to take a look around here at all of the things here in the Hall of Presidents. Again, great place to take a nap, but at the same time, a great place to look around. So the first thing I'm going to show you is something I talk about a lot. The Great Seal of the United States. The original one is in the Oval Office in the White House. In order to get this replica of this seal installed here at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World, an act of Congress had to be passed. So when you come in here and you visit the Hall of Presidents, this seal that you're looking at is a dead-on replica of the one in the Oval Office. I found out about that. I was stunned. If you have Disney Plus, one of the watches that is really worth your time is the Imagineering story. You find out all this fascinating stuff. Colin Crockley, thank you so much for becoming a subscriber to my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you. River of Poop, you mean the Schuylkill River? You know what? The British were probably dumping poop in the Schuylkill. Now that I think about it. Let's see. It's good to stay awake for at least 2 shows of this. History is important, and I wish I paid attention a lot more to it as a kid. Yeah, a lot of people, when they teach history, they do not make it interesting. Like in one school, a history teacher, they taught the revolution. They said, okay, imagine if instead of newspapers, they had Twitter or Facebook. And the posts that they were writing were absolutely hilarious. Like one with regards to the Declaration of Independence. They had a tweet from Ben Franklin to John Hancock who said, Hancock, really? So for those of you who don't know, John Hancock has the largest signature on the Declaration of Independence because he wanted to make sure King George III did not need his glasses in order to see his signature. So there we have portraits of Jefferson, whom I am related to, but not in the way that people think. And there's Woodrow Wilson, which is one of my most loathed presidents for bringing segregation back to the federal government. And then here's Ronald Reagan. I'm always going to love Reagan. Love these. Oh, Lord, imagine Jefferson's Twitter feed. Jefferson was a great orator, so yeah. Yeah, hence the term John Hancock. Jefferson tweeting such lines as, in matters of fashion, swim with the tide. In matters of principle, be like a rock. Hashtag thoughtful Thursday. These are like the dresses from the first ladies. Like this one's Rosalind Carter's, one of her outfits right there. This one is Caroline Harrison. And this one, which is one of my favorites because it reminds me of Bridgerton, Dolly Madison. I love dresses. Only Twitter feed I need is Trump's. It's hilarious. Some days I'm just like, dang, dude, really? I mean, yeah, but how do you feel about having two national anthems? You know what? I'm going to talk about that really briefly in a minute. Really briefly. Matter of fact, let me star that. Let me answer that question after we get out of the Hall of Presidents. Oh, Franklin. Oh, heck yeah. Franklin used to write the, when he was writing Poor Richard's Almanac under an alias. If you want to laugh, go back and read the Poor Richard's Almanac. Talk about crowdfunding, okay? He wrote a letter. This was under a pseudonym of Poor Richard. He wrote a letter to his readers thanking them for sending all this money so that now he and his wife had a proper chamber pie. I kid you not, that was real. That was so real. And there's also one where Ben Franklin, again under pen name, wrote a proposition to some kind of society in France, scientific society, for grant money to study how to capture farts. And they sent him money to do it. Walt Disney, an American original. I've always been a kind of a billboard American. I think I get that red, white, and blue streak up and down my back every once in a while. So you see over there to the right, Walt Disney. I think that's with Eisenhower.
God, my fingers are so clean.
And then, of course, he's over there with Nixon. Remember, Nixon gave his speech, his I am not a crook speech, over in the Contemporary. Let's see. It's just a beautiful sculpture that's over there. And then here's one of Lincoln. I love seeing this art of Walt Disney. Because the first animatronic was the Abraham Lincoln animatronic. Again, watch the Imagineering story about how they brought Abraham Lincoln to life as an animatronic. It is, engineers geek out at that. Like me, I thought that was freaking fascinating when I was a kid. So Ben Franklin, the OG troll. Yes, he was. He loved to troll King George. He loved to troll them every chance he got. one of his favorite, well, not a troll, but he was very prolific in damning the crown for sending their convicts to the American colonies. Hey, John Cipolla, good seeing you. Good seeing you, my dear. Let's see. Here they talk about the making of the Hall of Presidents, how they sculpt the busts here. Look at this. Look at how they do all the sculptures of the busts. There's George Washington, Andrew Jackson. Okay, no. Andrew Jackson was the territorial governor of Florida. He made my family's life a living hell. But that's a story for another day for Welcome to Florida Stream. Let's see. Here we have Thomas Jefferson. And there's Ronald Reagan. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And here I was thinking we only sent our criminals to Oz. Nope. You guys sent all of them to, a whole bunch of them, to the American colonies. But it wasn't just England. I mean, Spain sent their convicts here too. But after the revolution, the crown needed a new place to send their convicts, so they sent them to Oz. I had no idea about England sending their convicts to the colonies, again, until I read a book. It's authored by Ben Franklin. Look it up, and I kid you not, this is the title, Fart Proudly. It's full of all of his essays, and one of them is him taking King George III to task for sending criminals into the British American colonies. He had no chill, Ben Franklin. Unless he was hanging out with the French, then he would. Jeez. Wow. Accessories, you know I like accessories. So boot buckles, authentic jewelry such as watches, wedding rings, ornate buckles, and lapel pins help add a heightened sense of believability to the overall look of each president. So there's so much work that goes into this. Georgia was a penal colony. Yeah, you did. Yeah, especially considering how far south it was. And a lot of people would die from yellow fever. Yeah, Georgia shared a border with Florida. There's a reason why they would send a lot of their convicts there. Washington, Reagan, one of these things is not like the other. Jefferson, Jackson, Washington, yeah. One of these days on the Welcome to Florida show, I am going to do a deep dive into just why Andrew Jackson was so freaking hated in this state. Oh my gosh. What about FDR and JFK? I don't see their busts here, but in the Hall of Presidents show, you will actually see their animatronics. Georgia peaches and prisoners. See, we got Reagan's bolo tie. Check that out. Reagan's bolo tie. Like that. Thomas Jefferson's pocket watch. Do you know we also have Thomas Jefferson to thank for macaroni and cheese? Yes, I found that out. Yeah, Thomas Jefferson knew how to like BS with the French. He was also very, very instrumental in keeping the United States from going to war with France, especially when France was going through the revolution. Yeah, we almost went to war with France. Interestingly, France is the only European country, I believe, we didn't go to war with. But it was very contentious. that. So that's George Washington Society of the Cincinnati dinner plate. Kraft cheese and macaroni because it's in cheese. Do you know when you'll be doing your part 2 of Florida Forts? Not yet. I have to check my schedule, check Dad Man's schedule. We definitely will. You guys seem to enjoy that one. Let's see, James Monroe scales and weights. Early 19th century, look at that. And a fishing reel from FDR. Right down that way. Here's one of my favorites. Check out these shoe buckles. Washington was pimping. Look at that. Check it out. Like buckles. I love these things. In the late 18th century, buckles were the height of fashion, indicating one's taste and social standings. These silver and stone shoe buckles were part of President George Washington's jewelry collection. Wow. I like shiny things. CJ says it's like rims for shoes. Yep. I mean, check out the 18th century fashion, man. People were pimping. James Polk. That's his inkwell. Benjamin Harrison. That's his walking stick. Up there. Up. All right. Richard M. Nixon's key to Disneyland. When former Vice President Richard Nixon first visited Disneyland, he was given this honorary key to the happiest place on earth. However symbolic, the gift was put to good use. To this day, Mr. Nixon holds the records for the most visits to the park by any U.S. president. Fun with forts was so much better than fun with flags. Take that, Sheldon and Amy. Hey, Delanne, so good to see my sister in the chat. How you doing? I'm in Hall of Presidents. Remember, we go over here and take a nap. Oh, Talia, yeah, you have to tell the people how I was with planning our trips. We got things to do. We got places to go. Come on. Let's see. And there's George W.'s Texas Rangers jacket. Washington had his waistcoats custom made in England. Nice. I believe it. What the hell? Where is my 30-minute notification? It's been so bad with notifications with YouTube. Hey, Soccer at 315. Good to see you. Good to see you. We're checking out all of the presidential artifacts in here. Barack Obama's basketball. Yeah, Barack liked those pickup games. So that's a Spalding ball, which has the seal of the President of the United States on there, with Barack Obama. Let's see. Fun fact again. George W. Bush and Barack Obama are my distant cousins. We share, I think 10th great grandparents in common. Again, both from New England. Yep. And George W. Bush, I'm actually related to him on his mother's, no, his dad's side. George Herbert Walker Bush, I'm related to him on his mother's side. Barack Obama, I'm related to him on his mother's side. You two need to do a WDW Park live stream together. That's an idea. Talia and I have to talk about that.
Our next 20-minute presentation will begin in just about 5 minutes. Once again, our next 20-minute presentation.
We'll have to do a live stream where I'm going through the parks in Toledo, tell you guys stories about how crazy I am with putting together our itineraries. Let's see. Here's Jimmy Carter's fly fishing gear. No disrespect, but he's still living, right? I'm just curious. I mean, man, dude is hanging in there. So that's his fly fishing gear. So he liked to fish all over the place. And here's Teddy Roosevelt's teddy bears and book. Look at those. Those are so cute. Those are so cute. Oh, he's still living, huh? Nah, God bless him. Carter lived long enough not to be one of the worst presidents in history. Oh, yeah. My parents would talk a lot about the Carter years. I mean, go back and watch like some of the 70s sitcoms. Man, they were always ragging on Carter. Yep, and here's the guy, the infamous territorial governor of Florida, Andrew Jackson, and Old Hickory. Andrew Jackson, who when he became territorial governor of Florida liked to steal slaves and ship them back to Hermitage with a note saying, "I'm sorry I took your slave. Here's $10." And there's Abraham Lincoln up there. That's a really nice portrait. And there's James Monroe right there. Next to FDR. One of you guys was asking about Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I did not know Roosevelt used a wheelchair until I was like in high school. And my history teacher was like, yeah. He gave the press strict instructions to not take pictures of him in a wheelchair. I was like, dang. And then there's Jimmy Carter. Still around and still kicking. Y'all talking about Jackson looks like a vampire. He kind of does. He kind of does. He does look like a vampire. Jackson looks like Count Dooku. Oh, God. Bring on the memes. Bring on the memes. Spaceman says the Carter years were rough. Yeah, my parents and grandparents would talk about the Carter years like we don't want to go back there.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Hall of Presidents. In just a few moments, the doors behind me will be opening, and you'll be able to enter the theater.
It's
if
okay,
you or anyone
Claude.
in your party is traveling in a wheelchair or scooter, we do ask you to please remain to the far right-hand side Underneath where it says theater entrance. You and your party will be entering on the last row to the right, where we have reserved the top section of the theater for you and your parties and you and your parties alone. As a reminder, please be sure your entire party is present together before entering the theater, for once the show begins, we are unable to accommodate any late arrivals or re-entries. Once inside of the theater, please be sure to refrain from any eating, drinking, the use of flash photography or external camera video lighting, and be sure to remain quietly seated throughout the duration of the show. We thank you for your cooperation and hope you enjoy the Hall of Presidents.
Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. Okay, I am trying to decide where I'm going to sit. Usually like to sit in the back when I'm live streaming. So I don't not that I talk a lot during the stream, because I don't. I think I'm going to violate my own rules, excuse me, a little bit. It's such a huge theater, nobody's going to care. Again, these seats are really, really flippin' comfortable. They're so comfortable. This is why it's a great place to take a nap. Okay. Strangely enough, people tend to congregate in the back. And I honestly think it's because people want to take a nap. I joke. No, not really. Not really. The music is relaxing and everything, so, hey, why not? I was working as a gondolier at the Venetian in Vegas when Carter took a gondola ride. Really? Oh, that must have been cool. To say you ferried over one of the U.S. presidents. How cool. Let's see. And my sister says, okay, this is from her. Lorena has a strict schedule. Don't be late. Hit the itinerary hard, but don't worry. We are going to eat and caffeinate. I hope we can do a show together in the spring. Awesome. Okay, guys, here we go. Enjoy.
Thank you for joining us for this reverent celebration of America's leaders, both past and present. The Walt Disney World Resort is proud to present the Hall of Presidents.
Woo! History rocks.
This program is dedicated to the memory of Walt Disney. In 1971, his love for America inspired the creation of the Hall of Presidents, a place to celebrate the optimism and goodwill he saw at the heart of the American story. Walt's vision was to honor the nation by honoring the American presidency.
It is 1783, and the smoke is clearing in the wake of the Revolutionary War. Over the course of 8 grinding years, General George Washington has led a force of shopkeepers, farmers, and Native American allies to victory over the greatest military power in the world. A new nation has been born, independent and free. The founders must form a national government. In 1787, through months of passionate debate, they create a written constitution. For the country's highest office, They imagine something new in the history of the world. A leader not born to power like a king or queen. A leader who has not seized power through conquest. A leader not separate from the people, but elected by the people, from among the people. We, the people. This is a new idea, an American idea. The idea of a president. The people don't know exactly what a president will be, but there is little doubt who it will be. George Washington's stature and bearing have marked him as a leader. His integrity has made him a great one. Washington knows that many generals who have led successful revolutions make themselves dictators or kings. Instead, he steps down from power and retires to his home, Mount Vernon. The world takes note, and George Washington becomes the symbol of American ideals. In the first presidential election, it's Washington by a landslide. The only doubt seems to be his own. He writes, "Integrity and firmness is all I can promise. Integrity and firmness is exactly what we need." Everything he does as president will set a model for his successors. His final act may be the most important of all. After 2 terms, with no term limit in the Constitution and amid overwhelming support to stay in office, he steps down once again and hands power back to the people. He wants us to speak, to elect a new president. During the early years of the Republic, we choose leaders as different as Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Andrew Jackson. Elections are often bitter. Each president stands at that fiery intersection where personal character meets the challenges of the times. Some call the presidency a glorious burden. Jefferson calls it a splendid misery. We, the people, must choose well. We elect 15 presidents before the course of history brings us to the edge of a crisis like no other. A nation born of freedom still permits slavery. As the country pushes west, will new states be slave or free? The question produces bitter conflict. The issue rocks the election of 1860 and brings Abraham Lincoln onto the national stage. The tall, lanky, some say uncouth candidate from Illinois is a master of words at a time when speeches are printed in full for people to read. A house divided against itself cannot stand, he has said. With Lincoln's election, the House does indeed divide. Civil War. 11 states secede from the Union. The war becomes a defining passage in the American story. The president's own inner strength and depth of character changed the course of history. Lincoln had come up the hard way on the American frontier, desperately poor, with less than a year of formal schooling. His early years were scarred by tragedy, the death of his mother, his sister, his first love. He struggles with depression, but never loses his determination to rise above it. He once said he's driven by a desire to leave the world a little better place for having lived in it. The war rages. Lincoln fights to preserve the Union and end slavery. Neither is a sure thing. At Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, 6 months after one of the bloodiest battles of the war, the president dedicates a cemetery to the thousands of soldiers who died there, in words we can never forget.
"Fourscore and 7 years ago, Our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives, that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
The blood of over 500,000 Americans is spilled in this Civil War. President Lincoln's enduring hope is to give true meaning to the sacrifices of so many, to lead us to that new birth of freedom. With the end of the war and the end of slavery, a new birth truly begins. As we roll toward the 20th century, settlers roll west on wagon wheels and railroads connect the nation coast to coast. Millions of immigrants pour in from Europe and Asia. Population doubles. Our economy triples. Our standing among nations rises. We need presidents who can lead both at home and abroad. At the same time, a young Theodore Roosevelt is retreating from New York politics and personal tragedy. The death of his wife and his mother on the same day in the same house. In the Badlands of North Dakota, he rethinks his life and the life of his country. He returns stronger in body and spirit. His renewed energy is just what his country needs. American industry is booming, but social tensions are rising. A progressive movement is bubbling up, pushing for change, and change is needed in the working and living conditions in cities. The gap widens between rich and poor. The demand for change grows stronger. Teddy Roosevelt is a knight on a crusade. He speaks with force and vitality in clear terms that make colorful headlines at a time when mass market newspapers have become the new media. To define his foreign policy, he borrows a phrase from an African proverb: speak softly and carry a big stick. But his greatest accomplishments are made at home. He breaks up giant monopolies, protects workers' rights, and calls for a square deal for all Americans, rich and poor, capitalist and wage earner.
And a square deal for every man and every woman in the United States.
He calls on America to be as great as the natural grandeur of its lands. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground, he tells us. And we do.
1929, the bottom fell out of the market. 12 million unemployed. The breadlines and the results of the 1932 election now.
When we elect our 32nd president, it is the worst of times. The course of history and the course of one president's life again shape a turning point in our national destiny. Franklin D. Roosevelt, paralyzed by polio, knows how to restore the faith of a people paralyzed by the Great Depression.
I believe in practical explanation and in practical policy.
He has found the inner strength his countrymen now need. He speaks to us like a friend, a neighbor. His optimism is contagious, his voice perfect for the latest breakthrough medium, radio. He calls us to believe we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And we do believe.
Tonight's attacks on England are perhaps the most widespread of the war in the course of the day.
But an even greater challenge dominates his final years in office. The Second World War.
We must be the great arsenal of democracy. This is an emergency as serious as war itself.
We stun the world with our production. When bombs fall on U.S. troops in Pearl Harbor, he calls us to fight on the war front and sacrifice on the home front.
The harder the sacrifice, the more glorious the triumph. So spoke America in the year 1776. So speak Americans today.
The world changes. The country changes. And yet, in one sense, what we need most from our presidents has never changed. A guiding vision that calls forth the best that America can be.
Will outer space be developed for the benefit of all mankind? Or will it become another focus for the arms race? The choice is urgent, and it is ours to make.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
But really, it's all of us who must overcome the crippling legacy of bigotry and injustice. And we shall overcome.
One of the agreements that President Sadat and Prime Minister Begin are signing tonight is entitled A Framework for Peace in the Middle East.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. You have lost too much, but you have certainly not lost America.
I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you.
Loving this country requires the willingness to speak out for what is right, to shake up the status quo. That's America.
Our presidency is no longer just an idea. It is an idea with a proud history. Ladies and gentlemen, the presidents of the United States of America. George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, James K. Polk, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, James A. Garfield, Chester A. Arthur, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Warren G. Harding, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, Richard M. Nixon, Gerald R. Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump. And now we come to the present. Once again, we place our trust in the idea of a president, as we have from the beginning.
My fellow citizens, no event could have filled me with greater anxieties than that notification on the 14th day of April 1789 that you had selected me to lead our nation. But it was with the confidence of my fellow citizens that I took an oath. 35 simple words that have been repeated by every American president throughout history.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States, and I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
The presidency of the United States is a role unique in the world, an office entrusted to each president by us, we the people. Therein lies the genius of that new idea, now over 200 years old. A new idea our presidents have turned into a great American idea again and again.
That's all, folks.
Please gather all your personal belongings and I can open doors to your left. Thank you.
Again, one of my favorite places to take a nap, and one of my favorite places to remind me of U.S. history. So, tell you what, let me try to put the camera right now. All right, what up, stranger? Okay, there I go. There I go. you all enjoyed that. I got a little bit closer than usual. Mostly so you guys can see the presidency, the animatronics. Also see the projections a bit better. All right, so we are heading back out into rain here. Let's see. I'm going to see how long it is to get on, see how long the line is for the Haunted Mansion. Let's go and check it out. So, thank you guys for hanging out here with me at a very rainy Magic Kingdom on this President's Day weekend. We just got finished watching the presentation of the Hall of Presidents. It sounds boring, but definitely make sure you check it out, especially for all the cool bits of nostalgia that are in there. And I'm moving over here for a minute because I'm going to show you guys the river of Pooh. If you thought it was a joke and you thought I was making it up, guess what? I'm not. So do you see that grayish brown strip right there? That starts up that way and goes down that way. And notice it's coming from all the buildings. That, my friends, is the river of Pooh. Yes. No sewage system in the 18th century, folks. And yes, that was confirmed by the Imagineers. That is the river of Pooh. And dang it, I knew y'all were going to bring this up. Let's see. Lorena, were you going to mention something about Andrew Jackson for someone else? No, in a future Welcome to Florida show, I'm going to have to give you guys a little bit of history about Andrew Jackson that very few people know about. He was completely despised as president, but especially despised in the state of Florida. Because thanks to him, we got 2 Seminole Wars, and let's just say it's fascinating. I'll have to save that for another Welcome to Florida show. And yes, you know what? It is not lost on me that Biden's animatronic is more tuned in and more lively than he is. That's the joke, and it's so true. That's what it's supposed to represent. That's kind of hilarious. I walked through Liberty Square as a kid and never realized. Like I said, Taylor, I had no idea until I watched the Imagineering story on Disney Plus. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then went back to the park and actually saw it. So yes, that is the river of Pooh. Starts at the beginning of Liberty Square. You can see it right that way. It goes down there, ends in Frontierland. Right up here past the river goes. I tell kids, I'm like, when you get back to school, if you're studying American history, ask them about the lack of sewage systems. Were there really rivers of poo in towns? All right, we've got 30 of you guys here in the chat. Thank you so very much. Very rainy here. at the Magic Kingdom for President's Day weekend, and wait, the lightning lane. Okay, guys, this is nuts. The lightning lane, enter here. Let's see. And this looks like a easy 75, possibly, minute wait. Oh my gosh. I don't think it's going to be cool as the time that the wait was so low that the wait time was 13 minutes. Wow. Okay. I'm going to show you guys something. You know, on that Park Place, which we've just reached 10K subscribers over there. Thank you so very much. You know how on that Park Place we talk about how the lightning lane is just crazy long? So this is a lightning lane. All the way, it starts all the way back there. And the standby entrance to the Haunted Mansion is 70 minutes. Most of that time jacked up by the fact that all these people who paid for the lightning lane, see how far back it goes, they have to let a whole bunch of these people in first before they start letting standby people in. So it's like for every one standby person, there's like 20 to 30 lightning lane folks. And yes, imagine having to pay whatever it is per person to wait in this long ass line in the rain to get into the Haunted Mansion. This is why I tell people, do not buy the lightning lane. Do not get to the park early. Get to the park early. Have a plan. I'm telling you, having a plan mitigates the amount of money that comes out of your pocket. You have more time than money. Spend it wisely. Spend it wisely. The Haunted Mansion is one of those things people will hit the first as soon as they get into the park. Get here early. And then the people are still, that's a lightning lane, folks. That's the lightning lane. Dang. I remember the look I gave people who had fast passes when I was a kid. I do too. What they did a fast pass lightning lane is criminal. It is. It's another way to nickel and dime people. Which is why I refuse to use it. You notice on all my live streams, I don't use lightning lane. Let's see. I'll tell you what, let's go on in Memento Mori for a little bit. Let's see, close my umbrella here. All right, let's go on in. Since we're not going to the Haunted Mansion, that's a 70-minute wait. I'll tell you what. Let's go on in this way. Check out what's here in Memento Mori, one of my favorite gift shops. Then I think I'm going to go over to the Columbia Harbor House just to be able to sit down. I'm not seeing anything new. You guys know I'm in here a lot. They used to have this really, really cool thing where they did spirit photography, but not anymore. Let's see what else we got. Force noodles. Let's see. Madame Leota crystal ball. That looks cool, but I want the real one. Glow in the dark bucket bag. I still have to get that. But even better than that, guys, when you're in here, take a look at all of the details. This is what Disney used to do, make their gift shops so unique. Ooh, is that a coffee mug? It sure is. Huh, that's interesting. It is, let's see, how much is it? $25. Now that's kind of steep. I love the Haunted Mansion, but I don't know. Art and stuff over there. That used to be where they would do the spirit photography. Now it's just checkout counter. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna go.
Don't open that around people.
On over. Excuse me. I think I'm gonna go in the Columbia Harbor House. This rain is getting to be nuts, so your girl. Not time for me to roll out. After. All right. Here's a Columbia Harbor House, guys. Hello. Thank you. I love this place. I'm gonna find a place to sit down, but they have mobile order. You can get chowder, all kinds of stuff in here. I like the clam chowder. I like the fish and chips. I love the theming in here. Let's see, I tell you what, we're gonna go upstairs actually. Only to chill for a little bit. I haven't been up here like that. Let's see. Ooh, we are kind of crowded up here. Here I am thinking I'm going to get a cool place to just hang out. Doesn't look like that's happening today. Doesn't look like it's happening today. But that's all right. Oh, cool. So there's places to sit up here. When it is rainy, these little places tend to get crowded, but this is one of my other favorite quick service eatery places to show up in. My goodness. Crazy. Let me see. Got it. Well, you know what? Actually, I'll just. Should I put you guys here? Nah. Yeah. I don't like taking up space. Goodness. Okay. I think I'm going to head on towards Main Street since I need to be on my way out. It is, it's so gross. The rain's starting to really come down. All right, so I'll tell you what, let's head on out towards the front of the park. Everybody's got ponchos. Hey, Brogu. Is it raining that hard, Lorena? Yes. Yes, it is. It's raining harder than it was when the stream first started. And plus, it's a little chilly, which adds to the misery factor. I would prefer it be raining and warm than raining and cold. It's not frigidly cold, but not the best. But anyway, while I'm walking to the front of the park, let's see, hang on. Cliffdeck says, Lorena Creole, how do you feel about having two national anthems? Glad you brought up that question. Factually speaking, we do not have two national anthems. We only have one, which I believe was officially dubbed the anthem of the United States in 1932. There was only one national anthem of the United States, as written by Francis Scott Key. That is not in dispute. That is the truth. That is a fact. Anyone who says otherwise is ignorant or is lying to you. Now, what the media has done has taken a hymn that was penned by James Weldon Johnson, a Florida native, in, I want to say, I think it was in 1912, during a time when we did not have a national anthem, during a time of prosperity, especially for Black people who were formerly slaves, who were prospering and running into social barriers with respect to advancing in this country. And it was also a time when our country did have a racist social structure. Then again, remember, this is 1912. 1912, Black people were advancing, especially in the areas of civil service and in government and in the military. You also had a class of people in the United States who were used to Black people being slaves or the underclass, and now they had to adjust to a new social structure because of that. The hymn called Lift Every Voice and Sing, yes, is a Christian hymn. It's a hymn that I used to sing in church with my family in the South. And no one thought anything of it. Now, the reason that that is colloquially called the Black National Anthem is because the NAACP, and we all know who they are, decided that they would call it the Black National Anthem. So there wasn't like some ballot that went out, and I'm not saying people think this, but I'm adding this because your girl keeps it straight with you. There wasn't some national vote taken that asked Black people, hey, do you want to have this as your national anthem, yes or no? Black people in general were not asked for this. The NAACP as elite as they are and claiming to speak for all Black people when they really should not. They should talk in generalities and not, let's put it this way, the NAACP is not what they used to be. However, that's when it happened. And I don't know exactly when the NAACP did that, but they dubbed it the Black National Anthem. Now, fast forward to the NFL, the no fun league already, okay? For whatever political points that they could score, they called this the Black National Anthem. Now, they could have just had the hymn sung, and interestingly enough, when they sing Lift Every Voice and Sing, they cut out the stanza that mentions God. Interesting, huh? So they're using it as a political football and using it to sow division. There's nothing in Lift Every Voice and Sing that talks about a separate Black America. Nothing about that. If anything, and this is the truth, Lift Every Voice and Sing talks about hardships experienced by anyone. The hardships, perseverance, faith in God to hold you over, embracing of your fellow man. And the person who wrote the hymn as a love letter to President Lincoln. Because it's just like, we need another Lincoln. We need another Lincoln. That's where that comes from. But you have political activists in this country that would rather put us against each other and say, oh, it's a Black national anthem. And then you have some really stupid right-wing pundits that use it. Let's say, see, that's why you want to segregate yourself. No, it has nothing whatsoever to do with that. Look at the man behind the curtain. Look at why they're doing this. And above all else, we got Google. Do your own research. Corroborate what I'm saying. So, when someone says, oh, why are there two national anthems? There aren't two national anthems, there's just one. And that's the truth. 100% truth. So that's your girl's opinion telling you about it. Thank you for that question, though. I really do appreciate you asking me that. Very predictable by the NFL, Reina. Yeah, the NFL is full of crap. The NFL is totally full of crap. But they're all about getting people to watch. Why do you think they kept making this big deal about Taylor Swift showing up? You know? Something else. If we in the U.S. want to vote on a new national anthem and put several songs up, let all citizens vote. Mm-hmm. Shocking, the NAACP co-opting something for their agenda. You know what? I have had my boot on the neck of the NAACP for the longest time. I mean, there's one thing to point out things in an unbiased manner. The NAACP should have been more of a think tank than anything else with their original vision, but they've decided to become more political. And having the gall to basically stamp and say this is a Black national anthem. But anyway, even if they did do that, that's a colloquial term. It's not like it was voted. It's not like it was something official. And like I said, that hymn's been around since 1912. Colloquially known as the Black National Anthem since the 1960s. You got to ask yourself, why is the NAACP, and why, most importantly, is the No Fun League trying to use it? Think about it. Think about it. So I'm not going to the Seven Seas Food Fest today. Nope, you're not. I'm hoping it doesn't rain too much tomorrow because I'm supposed to go to the KC and the Sunshine Band concert. Daggone it. Scott Westbrook, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that, my dear. This is one heck of a monologue, Lorena for president. Oh, thank you. I couldn't be president. Nah, people would get tired of me. Like, you didn't have to say that. Yes, I did have to say that. These people are stupid. What's Congress? Oh, they didn't do anything today? Guess what? Y'all don't get paid. How about that? Thank you so much, Scott Westbrook, for that $5 super chat. I surely do appreciate it. Thank you. And I appreciate all of you guys on the channel. And I appreciate that you feel safe to ask me the hard questions like that. Why am I not surprised the NFL removed it? Exactly. Hey, Meg B. Hello, my dear. This is great and eloquently stated. Listening with my girls while hair washing all the hair in the sink. Oh, the Saturday hair washing, right? Yeah. Thank you very much. Just speaking from my heart, from a place of logic. Here's the thing: people are using the whole Black national anthem thing as an emotional argument. You cannot make a logical argument with emotional people. So you put the logical argument out there, then you talk about the emotional part. Yeah. So there you go. Going by Twitter, X, Lorena can't be black, as she's always on time and scheduled, but Gary from Nerdist never is. Funny you should mention that, because my family couldn't be on time for a freaking free lunch, which is why when I plan Disney trips, I'm like, don't piss me off by not being on time. One of our family members, who's notorious for being late, we purposely told them that our dining reservation time was like 45 minutes earlier than it really was, because we knew they would get there on time. And sure enough, by the time they showed up, I think we had like a 15-minute wait. And they're like, we thought we were late. It's like, no, we knew y'all were going to be late. Yeah, I'm on Japanese people time, man. I do not like being late. I live 15 minutes from Disney and 15 minutes from SeaWorld and roughly 25 minutes from Universal. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm about 20 minutes from all of those. No sunshine for the band, Gator 2. Yeah, I'm not. I'm probably going to be a good fan and brave it, since I don't have to go to work Monday morning. I have to see Casey and the Sunshine Band. I'm telling you, I love funk bands. I've always loved funk bands since I was a kid. I got to see Casey. You're right, Lorena. The NAACP should have been a think tank. Walking on sunshine. That's funny. Let's see. Ram Bam 3000 says, "Oh well, Goofar 35. What's Wakanda's? I have no idea. Wakanda's a fake country." I love it when they have. Check over here a little bit. Then we'll go on into the gift shop a little bit. Ram Bam 3000, the Reina Creole. Gary Nerdist immediately picked up on the fact that it's not a national anthem, but a racial one. He is not amused. Well, I will say that if Gary thinks that it's a racial anthem, he's wrong. Well, I'll say yes and no. He's wrong, but not wrong. As I explained to you folks, Lift Every Voice and Sing was a hymn. There's nothing racial that is in it at all. Go read the words for yourself. There is nothing racial whatsoever in Lift Every Voice and Sing. Now, where he is right is that you've had people who have weaponized it and made it racial. Those are two very, very different things. So when you engage people who are emotional, they're not going to hear your logical argument. You confirm with them that it is a hymn. People have made it racial. See, there's a difference. It doesn't take a whole lot to try to understand where people are coming from emotionally and connect with them on that particular level. But if there's anybody that Gary should be mad about with regards to that, regards to making it the Black National Anthem, that blame needs to lie squarely with the NFL and the NAACP. The fact that Lorena is on time and Neurotic is not shows the stupidity of stereotypes. It is very, yes, stereotypes can be funny, but the reason that stereotypes are funny is that you know the truth, although in some cases it may be correct, but for the most part, stereotypes are ridiculous. But it's great fodder to laugh at. If you don't think stereotypes are funny to laugh at, you need to go back and watch Blazing Saddles. That's how it's being used now. That's what he means. Yes. Actually, I think Gary made that same point. Okay. So I didn't see his stream, so I didn't know. So that's why I make the dichotomy between that. That's how it's being used. Maybe that's what he means. Perhaps. Perhaps. But like I said, it's not a racial anthem on the merits of what that song is. There's nothing racial that's in it. You've had people who have made it racial. And that's what it is. Besides, Gary knows where to find me if he wants to talk about it. I don't think we'll get any disagreement on those points. Oh my goodness. So rainy. So rainy. Yeah, Blazing Saddles is flipping amazing. We did a watch party for that. Hey, Jerry Minosa, good to see you. Good to see you, my dear. Seeing you. Yes, it is raining. It is raining a lot. Ooh. New ears. I like those. Those look so cute. I love the fun icons of the park. At the They have 5, little e-ticket. Okay, I'm going over here now. When I get my bonus, I'll do stuff like that. I'll tell you what, folks. We'll go into the Emporium for a little bit, so you guys can kind of see what's new, what isn't new. Guys, shake my umbrella out. Shake my umbrella out. It's very, very wet in here. Let's see. So, we got hats. My favorite, bubble wands. I need to get my bubble wand. Borg! Most stereotypes about Mexicans are true. I know because I am one. I will defer to your judgment. Some people weaponize a lot of different things. just to keep people at odds with one another. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what the NFL freaking did. And I appreciate that. Look at this Stitch with popcorn. I'm not getting away with anybody. Oh my gosh, look. That is so. I have so many like plush Stitches. It's a darn shame, but not really. I will not apologize. Look at him. Stitch is my boy. $34.99. That's all pricey. Love when you're on FNT. Your knowledge and perspective on the parks is great. Oh, it'd be cool to be on FNT. Gary knows where to find me.
Say, hey, we bought you this, me and Taylor went and had it.
I wish it wasn't so hot. I love the back of this Spirit jersey. Look at this. Mickey and Minnie in the teacup ride, and Mickey looks like he's about to hurl. I love that. Yep, you did, Gary. Run back. Go back in the stream. You'll be able to see the Hall of Presidents. You saw a whole bunch of stuff. How would Stitch react if he saw the new Moana sequel? He'd probably say his badness level was rising. It's probably what he would say. Oh, Stitch is gangster. Okay, let's see. I remember a time when I would see merchandise in the Emporium, and it's just like I had to buy everything. Not so much. Not so much. Except for those ears. I think I'm going to have those ears. Okay, folks. Let's see the setting. I'm going to wrap our stream up here in the Emporium. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I sure do appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed checking out the Hall of Presidents. Hope you enjoyed learning about the river too. But most of all, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for the super chats. Smack that like button. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure you hit that like button. Let me know in the comments any questions you have about what we've seen at the park today. So folks, I will see you 8 p.m. tonight for our watch party of Disney Cinderella from 1950. It's going to be fun. One of my favorite for Disney princess cartoons. We're going through all the Disney princess cartoons. So join me at 8 o'clock p.m. tonight for that. Talk to you guys later.